Good afternoon, my name is Breyana Santos. Today I'm going to be talking about my architectural portfolio and the work that I got over the 3 years. We're going to be talking about my artist statement, my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, and my conclusion. About me, architecture is a practice in which you construct buildings, but to me it's more than that. Architecture is an essential part in my life, your life, and everyone's life. My love for architecture began in 2017 when I first started studying at Williamsburg High School for Architecture and Design. It slowly became a love and an interest. Throughout my years of high school, I worked on hands-on architecture projects, AutoCAD, and many other architectural projects. I worked with art basics such as understanding design principles all the way to working in AutoCAD. I worked with several different mediums such as acrylic paints, pencil, and many more. I struggled a lot with architecture during these past few years. Every year I had to face and overcome a new challenge. I approached them with confidence and I rarely ever settled for the bare minimum. I always did my best with my work even when it seemed extremely difficult. My hard work paid off because I am now a senior taking business in architecture class. Freshman year. Positive and negative space. Working with positive and negative space was something I'd never really done. We worked with white printed paper and black construction paper. We manipulated the materials to make a figure or an object we liked. We used glue and scissors to create these drawings and show how positive and negative space can influence the way the audience may view the picture. Still life drawing. Still life drawings are probably the hardest drawings I've ever done. I encountered many challenges and obstacles within creating this drawing. I'm a perfectionist, so I really wanted my drawing to be flawless. This was challenging because I've never worked with lighting before. I worked with lighting for this drawing. I used LED light bulbs to cast the shadows on the subjects. One challenge I faced was the shading. Since this was my first time shading, I either shaded too dark or shaded too lightly, hence impacting the final look of the drawing. AutoCAD floor plan. In freshman year, I began working with AutoCAD. AutoCAD was a lot harder for me because it was on the computer. I had to learn several different commands and how they worked. It was incredibly hard to use certain commands, which impacted the way I was able to get the plan the way I wanted. After noticing this, I requested help from my teacher and I was able to get the floor plan that I wanted. Sophomore year. Platform and balloon framing. In this project, I learned about the difference of balloon and platform framing. For this project, I also worked in AutoCAD and it was a lot easier now that I've been working with it prior. I learned the main difference between platform and balloon framing is the floor lines. The studs in the balloon wall go from the sill of the first floor up to the ceiling or up to the second story. The platform framing wall is specifically made for each floor. Rooftop elevation. In this project, I learned the importance of an elevated rooftop and the way a variety of rooftops can influence the way a house functions. When heavy rain or snow collect on the top of the roof, its elevation allows it to fall off of the roof, allowing the roof to dry off, and no causes damage to the inside of the house. This project was also done in AutoCAD. I used the dimension command to showcase the different dimensions. I showed the dimensions from the bottom of the house to the beginning of the rooftop and the dimensions for the bottom of the house all the way up to the top of the roof. Wall framing. This wall framing project was probably one of the hardest projects to get correct. The placing of the studs was a tedious process and took optimal attention and focus. If you placed one stud a centimeter off, it could impact the entire drawing. I had to take my time with this drawing. It took a lot of effort and concentration to get it right. This project was also done in AutoCAD and I used the dimension, line, and arrow command a lot. It was hard working with AutoCAD because I was very used to it. I like working more with paper and pencil, but AutoCAD really helped me and would continue to help me for my future career. Junior year. The Starry Night electrical board. My electrical board was based off the stars in the galaxy. This board had several steps and took very long to do. This subject was not something I was used to, and it wasn't something I thought I was ever going to do. I had to learn the different wires in an electrical circuit and each purpose. I had to learn how to use electrical tools like pliers, screwdrivers, and wire strippers. At the end, seeing my light bulb light up was extremely gratifying, and I would love to do it again. Utopian City. I never thought I would be able to build my own city and see it grow from start to finish. The goal of this project was to build your ideal city. For mine, I built a futuristic city that allowed everyone to have a home, job, and a place to relax and just have fun. There were skyscrapers and buildings and futuristic appliances. My city was made out of cardboard. We used a very sharp knife to score the cardboard so it would curve and create different shapes. I used the knife to cut out windows and make the buildings as tall as I could. I used acrylic paint to give the city color and life. I used a variety of colors to add a different view on the futuristic life. Self-portrait. My self-portrait was probably the hardest project of my junior year. Just like the wall framing of my sophomore year, it took a lot of time and concentration. Any little thing can mess up the entire project. The project started with me printing out this picture, then I scaled it up using a graph labeled 1 through 26 and alphabetically. I traced major points of my picture onto the labeled graph and connected the lines. In the end, I painted it with acrylic paint and added detail. Senior year. And I don't have anything for senior year. Conclusion. At the end of the day, architecture is all around us. The building we go to school, the houses we live in, and much more. We should take more time to appreciate the time and effort put into architecture and admire the hard work that was created. We should also appreciate the science and the schooling behind every single structure built, because without architecture, the world would have never looked the way it does today. Thank you. Any questions?